kanina okay lang kasi andyan ka naman na, kanina ka pa diyan. Okey na 'yun. Hindi naman ako nag-aano, hindi naman ako baka mamaya sabihin mo pinupuwersa kita, Walang puwersahan dito sir, Ay naku. Paasa si sir, Paasa si sir, akala ko naman ako yung tinutukoy mo. Si Yuan pala. O Yuan, nandiyan ka pa? Ayan dinalaw ka na ni dinalaw ka na ni Sir Pacol. Dalawin mo na lang siya pabalik bunso. Ganyan talaga ang buhay natin dito. Dalaw-dalaw din, iwan ng bakas, yan. Hyper. Ang dami ko natututunan ma'am dito. Dami ko natututunan sa inyo, promise. Ala kung ano dyan sa mga ganyan, basta ako kung ano yung masakit sa akin, yun na yun. Yun lang ang alam ko. Grabe, kaya ko ba? Pag hypo ko sa baka. Ay, ganon. Ano po yung sa inyo, di ba sa labas? Ganon. Pag hyper, nakakapayat para pong ganon. So, ibig sabihin pala, ibig sabihin pala yung kay ate, sa loob yun, no? Angela. Ibig sabihin pala yung kay ate Wena, sa loob pala yung kanya. Kasi pumapayat siya eh. Magaan daw yung hypothyroidism. Paano pong magaan? What do you mean magaan, sir? Isa pa to si sir, marami din tong alam sa medisina. Susunod, papacheck up na lang ako, sir, sa inyo. What do you mean, sir, na magaan daw yung sa labas? Mas madali siyang tanggalin, ganun ba, compared dun sa loob? Kasi luwag. What? Luwa? As in, parang namamaga yung mata, ganun ba yon? Mikrot balikat ko. Yung parang namamaga yung mata, sir, ganun ba? Ah, ganun pala yun. Saan nakukuha nga yan, sir? Sa pagbubuhat ba yan? Or basta na lang siya tumutubo? Or sa stress? Or sa ano bang tawag dito? Yung pag-inom ng alak? Pag-yosi? Ganyan? Okay po. Ay, kaya nga siguro. Sa loob nga siguro yun. No, kasi yung pinsan ko, yung asawa ng pinsan ko, meron din siyang ganyan. Pero hindi ko alam kung sa loob or sa labas. Tapos nagagamot siya. Tapos payat. Ngayon, alam ko na baka sa loob yung kanya. Kasi nga, sabi ni ma'am, mabilis makatunaw. Ibig sabihin, pumapayat yung meron na ganyan pag sa loob. Tapos hindi din siya nagbubuhat. Ganon. Kasi parang ang parang ang ano yata nun pagka nagbubuhat ka is like 'di ba 'pag nagbubuhat tayo parang naiire, parang gano'n. Hmm, gano'n ba 'yun? Paano mo nalaman ma'am na may ganyan ka? Matanong ko lang. Paano mo nalaman na meron kang ganyan? Ano 'yan, basta sumakit lang pina-check-up mo or talagang nakapa mo siya na may something sa leeg mo? Okey bunso, salamat. Ta's napansin mo ma'am na parang lumalaki na gano'n, tapos 'di naman masakit? Hmm, gano'n 'yun sir? Hindi ba siya yung parang hindi ba parang yung pakiramdam na kapag 'di ba kumakain tayo, 'pag kumain tayo like parang alam mo yung parang nakabara yung pagkain sa lalamunan, parang gano'n? Gano'n ba yung feeling ma'am ng may ganyan? Kasi wala lang, parang naitanong ko lang siya kasi minsan 'pag kumakain ako parang naiiwan yung kinain ko dito like gano'n ako ng gano'n, parang gano'n lang. Uy, salamat diyan, may pagulat-gulat ka pa ha. Sino ba 'yan? May pagulat-gulat ka pang nalalaan, ha. Yes. 120. Uy, konti na lang, magti 3 hours na, ayoko na po. Sumuko na. Kung mga 3 hours ako mga ma'am, sir, ayoko na po. Mga ate, kuya, hanggang umabot ng 12 years na, hindi ko pa pina-check-up. Till umabot ng from 4 cm of the to nandun. Ay, ito siguro kulani lang 'to. May nakaulbo kasi dito, baka kulani lang 'yan. Gano'n pala 'yun ma'am, naku. Dapat talaga kapag meron tayong nararamdaman sa katawan, lalo na kapag talagang medyo painful na siya, dapat inaagapan talaga 'no, nagpapa-check-up agad sa doktor para at least kahit papaano naaagapan. Kasi pagka late mo na siya nalaman, 'yun na nga. Kaya 'pag late mo na siya nalaman, too late, it's too late na. Ibig sabihin hindi mo na siya makuha, hindi mo na siya mahabol. Talagang ano na lang 'yun, yung dasal na lang talaga, tsaka 'pag hindi kaya ng katawan mo, kasi meron kaming mga kakilala na nagkakaroon din ng mga ganyan. Pero ibang klaseng ano naman po, ibang klaseng cancer naman, hindi siya sa thyroid. Yung iba naman sa ano, sa dibdib. Natanggalan yung isa sa katrabaho din namin yun, natanggalan siya ng isang dibdib. Kaya nakakaano, minsan nakakatakot din maging babae 'no, ma'am 'no? Kasi kadalasan yung babae ang nagkakaroon ng mga samot-saring ano, eh, samot-saring karamdaman. Hmm, Tinatamaan ako ng ano ah. Yeah, I'm back. Karamihan hearts. Na nakikita ko. Di, paabutin ko lang to ma'am ng, ano, ng 3 hours. Tapos ayoko na. 3 hours lang tayo, 3 hours lang. Kanina sabi ko 2 hours lang eh. Inabot na tayo ng ano, ng 2 hours maigit. Kaya sayang naman kung puputulin ko, paabutin na natin ng 3 hours. Para sulit. Kasi minsan lang kayo minsan lang kayo tatambay ng ano eh. Ay, salamat po ma'am. Sige ma'am, pahinga ka na po ma'am. Pahinga ka na. Mag-ano na lang ako sa'yo ma'am mamaya. Don't worry ma'am. Paabutin natin yan para ikaw ay makakuha na. Para makuha mo na ang dapat mong makuha. Katarungan. Pinapasaya lang kita ma'am kahit medyo corny ang joke ko. Ako lang naman natatawa sa joke ko eh. Gan mga viewers. Pa 100% gun? Gun? Anong gun, bunso? Nalito ako. Ganun pag wala akong maisip sa bitaw. Yes, pindot, pindot, pindot. Ay, bawal nga pala yung words na yun. Bawal yun, di ba? Kasi yung nakaraan, may nagko-comment na ganun sa vlog ko, biglang ano si YouTube eh. Sige po ma'am, sige po. Salamat po. Patapos na rin po. Teka lang, mag-compute muna tayo. 60 plus 60, 120 plus 60, 180. Okay, malapit na. Kain muna tayo ng biskwit. Biskwit muna tayo dyan, guys. Biskwit. Oh. Ang flavor nito ay coffee flavor. O, di ba? Tapos, meron din ako ditong chocolate flavor. Biscuit. Sarap to. Tambay ko lang. Dyan, correction lang. Yes! Pa 100%. Ano yung na 100% mo, bunso? Ano yung hintay mo mag 100%? Sarap, ma'am. Gawa siya sa ano. Yung cookies niya, gawa sa wheat. Wheat ba tawag doon? Wheat. Naka-ano kasi siya eh. Naka-kanji. Gawa siya sa wheat. Ang sarap pala. Sarap nito ah. Sarap siya, bunso. Gusto mo? Paliparin natin dito. Palabasin natin sa screen. saan ka ba sa atin? So, Manila ka ba? Part ka ba ng Manila? Tapos ma'am, hindi siya masyadong matamis. Sabi ko na eh. Manila ka nga. Kasi kanina may nadaanan akong live. Ang lakas ng ulan. Lakas ng ulan. Ang taas na ng bubong niya pero ang lakas talaga ng ulan. Grabe no. Grabe ang panahon ngayon. Kung ano-ano. Kung hindi lindol, bagyo. Parang hindi na naubusan ng kalamidad dyan sa atin. Grabe. Basan ka nga? Malayo ka sa Manila. Ah, okay. Ako din. Ako naman, tawag dito, Nandaki. Baka mamaya, taga-ron ka lang sa lugar ko, malapit ka lang pala. Basta mga 2 hours. 2 hours ang layo ko. Diyan, sa Manila, 2 hours. Pag walang traffic, 1.5. Ganun lang ako kalapit. Sa malapit ng Caloocan. Sa malapit ng Caloocan. Okay. Kakaiba yun ha. Sige. Huwag mo na sabihin. Okay lang. Huwag mo na sabihin. Mas mabuti yan. Di namin alam. Ang layo mo naman, Sir Pakol. Ano ba yan? North? North. Ano ba? Luzon? Luzon ka ba? Part pa ba ng Luzon yan? No, 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 no. Eng. Hindi po. Nueva Ecija? Nueva Ecija yan. Hindi naman yung Pampanga eh. Kasi ang Pampanga, lapit lang yun. Hindi. Si Sir Pakol. Nueva Ecija yan. Ikaw, Cavite? Batangas? Wala ka originality, Sir Pakol, nanggagaya ka ng ek. Teka muna. Gala ako pero naglo-loading yung utak ko eh. Pangasinan? Santa Isabel. Isabela? Cabanatuan. Ngayon, Nueva Ecija, ganun din yun. San Jose. Sabi mo, Norte, Baguio. Baguio yan. Sambales, Bataan. 7 hours, hindi malapit lang yung Bataan. Tarlac. Kamuna ha. Teka muna. Andali lang. Inaalala ko yung mga pinuntahan ko. Norte? Teka muna, ang nasa utak ko Norte. Teka, Bicol. Norte pa yun, di ba? Ay, hindi. South na yun. Taga Bigan ka. Bigan. Ilocos Norte? Di ba, Bigan? Ilocos Norte.
guys.
Ilocosur.
Oh, good morning. Good morning,
Teka
guys.
muna.
Morning.
Cagayan, Sigaw.
Okay.
Ano lagi?
Ibis. Mo.
Apari,
Ano nga?
Bolo. Sur, oo nga, Ilocosur nga, sabi ko. Sabi ko kanina, Ilocos Norte, Ilocosur. Hindi ka nakikinig ah.
Hmm? Paano ba? Di ba ikaw na gano?
Talaga tayo kasi mag-i-intramuros tayo para sa STS.
Well ba?
Meeting na, kaya tayo mag-prepare tayo.
Kalmahan niyo, wala pa talaga tayong plano.
Exactly right. Pero sa intramuros na talaga tayo.
Yeah.
Excited na talaga.
Yeah.
South? Batangas yun, Batangas. Di ba? Batanggenyo ka? Batanggenyo ka ba, So? Anong tagal ko dyan? Batangas. Pabalik-balik ako dyan, tumutugtog ako dyan dati. No mo sir, nakita mo na, sir. Sabi sa'yo, tumutugtog ako sir. Kaya kung gusto mo mag-singer sir, pwede kitang baradain sir. Magtatambol ako para sa'yo.
Lamig. Hindi mo na yun.
Tambol o kaya kung North EDSA. Calabarzon yan. Calabarzon. Tarlac yun, sir. Ano naman binabanat mo, sir? Yung Calabarzon gawin ng tarlac yan, disyo? Diba? About 20 minutes ang uwi? Hindi. Sabi mo 5 hours. 5 hours south.
Bili
Sino
na
5 hours south from Manila? Batangas yan. Batangas or... Oh, Batangas nga. Batangas o kaya Laguna, San Pablo, Laguna, yung mga papasok, mga ganyan, Lucena, ganyan. Bicol.
Hindi ko alam.
Baka naman taga-Mayon ka, Mayon Volcano, baka taga-doon ka.
Sa 11-11 na.
Hanggang sir, baka mag-search ka pa sa Google, sir, ha? Baka mag-search ka pa. Baka pumulot ka pa sa Google ng mga ano.
My God, parang joke lang. Ito na. Ay, nag-end yung live.
Malayo ba yun ng 5 hours?
Okay pa yan?
Bakit ilang oras ba ang biyahe ng Bicol mula Manila?
I'm ready na.
Kasi nakapunta ko yan sa Bicol, Pilar Sorsogon. Sa Sorsogon ako nakarating. Dagat yun. Daungan. Nako, hindi lang ako alam sa SM Bunso. Hindi ako gala sa SM eh. Iba ang gala ko, mga dagat, bundok, ganyan mga galaan ko. Monumento? Lapit na. Malapit lang sa amin yan, Monumento 1 hour. Tayuman. Blumentritt.
Hindi. Alam ko yun kung saan.
UN up. Ano ba yung isa? Yung Kalyedo ba yun? Ano ba yun? Ano yun yung nasa dulo ng isip ko? Teka lang. Hukayin ko muna. Ano yung may words na letters yung nagsisimula eh? Karyedo? Karyedo ba yun? Diyan ba? Amoy, nulaan na lahat. Ano ba to? Pinoyhen nyo ba to? Pinoyhen nyo ba to? Lugar, tao, bagay. Ano to? Parang naging Pinoyhen nyo na itong live ko ah.
Ma.
Tapos nililigaw pala tayo yun, sir. Hindi pala siya totoong taga doon, nililigaw lang pala tayo. Pasig.
Labos.
Sa LRT na stop yan, ma'am. Manila. Manyon, Mayon. Teka, dali. Teka lang. Maon. Sir, ikaw, sir. Ano? Teka lang, ha. Parang hirap hulaan itong lugar na itong batang to. Manila. Maon? Ayoko na. Huko na ako. Malabon. Wow, ang galing mo naman na. Nauna. Hindi nga, sir. Nasa Manila nga, may Mayon. May bulkan sa Maynila, sir. Nahulaan ni nanay. Malabon. Bigyan ng jacket yan. Nanay ko yan. Nanay ko yan, bigyan ng jacket yan. Siya pa nakakawala talaga. Diyos ko. 85 years old. Nahulaan niya ng lugar mo. Kalala, panis tayo, sir. Panis tayo, sir. Wala tayong, iba ang talino talaga ng 85.
Wala.
8 minutes na lang, guys. Ayoko na talaga. Puputulin mo na to. Hindi ba part ng Manila yan? Oh, part pa rin ng Manila. Part ba ng Manila ang Malabon? Hindi ko rin alam eh. Tanong mo kay Yuan. Part pa rin ba yan? Mag-edit pa pala akong video. Bukas na lang. Tayo na lang mga solid dito. Tulog na sila. Not sure daw, not sure. Nakauha. Wait lang guys. Inom lang ako. Sa ano ko, sa 5 hours. 5 hours ang biyahe.
5 hours ang biyahe. Bulacan.
5 hours ang biyahe ko. Hulaan mo. Pinahirapan mo ako ah. Sige, hulaan mo kung taga saan ako 5 oras. Aray ko. 5 minutes na lang. Ano yan? Bulkan? Anong bulkan? West ako, West. West. Sige, tignan ko kung ano. Kaya yung hulaan. West.
West. Wait.
West nga, West. Taga-West ako, West. Kanina may sinasabi kayo north, south, ako west. Sige, hulaan nyo. No? Hindi. Ako yung ano dyan. Ako yung ibang bala doon. Hindi. Siyempre hindi. Hindi ako taga-roon. Si Reyna ba? Taga-roon ako. Natahimik kayo. Nagsa-search kayo, no? No? Hindi.
Oh my God, tapos ako na yung minute.
3 minuto na lang. Hulaan nyo.
Wait lang.
Hindi. Hindi nga eh. Kulit yarn. Hindi nga eh. Okay, konti pa. Meron ka pang natitirang 2 minuto. Hindi joke lang. Hindi yan joke. Totoo yan.
Wait.
Pwede.
Wait.
Ha? Daya naman ang mga to. Pag kayo nagpapahula, lahat na lang hinuhulaan ko. Tapos kayo nanghihingi kayo ng proof. Ano lang proof? Basta 5 hours. West.
Sandali ko wala ko ng...
Mamaya, mali-mali yung sinasabi ko, no? Ikaw na lang, wala.
Makausap mo ni. Hello po.
Ito. Ganyan talaga.
Lola mo na yan eh.
Okay.
Guys, hindi nyo nahulaan. Sayang. Papalipat. Sana ako ng saranggola. Ha? Hindi, mali. Sige na, guys. Thank you so much.
Hala.
Ay, uli mamayang hapon. Yan, samahan niyo uli ako sa ating live again. And para
No, di ko makakomment. Sambongga. Sambongga. Ba't ganon? Di na... Ay, nakawait ako. Hindi ko na talaga maanta. Ang daya. Nakakatanggal na. Sabi na ako alam. Sabi nga, anong nangyari? Anong nangyari? Forgot. Or loading this one. Guys, watch my new feed. Can I post this on? No, it's not that anymore. Yeah. You know.
dalawin mo na lang siya pabalik. Okay, konti pa. Meron ka pang natitirang dalawang gola? Ay, sorry. East pala, east. Hindi pala west, east. Sa east pala.
East. Ano ba yan?
Kasi north, south, west, east. Nasa east ako. Dili man. Occidental Mindoro, west yan eh. Part ng west yan, di ba? Nagmamadali kayo ngayon. 30 seconds. Tapos na ang aking live.
Ang daya.
Kaaliw. Mm. 30 seconds. 20 seconds. Wala na. Wala na kayong ihuhula. Okay na. Ano naman guys? Hindi nyo nahulaan, sayang. Papalipad sana ako ng saranggola. Ha? Hindi, mali. Sige na, guys. Thank you so much, everybody, everyone, sa pagsama sa aking live. Nandito na lang po ang aking live. At sana magkita-kita tayo ulit mamayang hapon. Yan, samahan niyo uli ako sa ating live again. And para po dun sa aking mga, ayan, naging katropa na dito sa aking live. Abangan niyo po ang aking bakas ngayon na. Bye-bye, guys. Bye.
Ipolo. Christine is elevated. Oh. Gawin ng kumot yung kailangan. Ano gagamitin? Gawin ng kumot yung gagamitin. Sige.
Right, so in today's video I'm going to continue with thoroughly testing out the newly released DJI Osmo Nano. So in today's testing with the Nano, I'm going to cycle through all those modes, and there's 6 modes in total on the Nano. And they start from photo mode, video mode, super night mode, slow motion mode, time lapse, and then finally we've got the hyperlapse mode there. But that's like a hidden menu in effect. You're on time lapse, you highlight it, and then you swipe up, swipe to the left, and there you'll find hyperlapse. So first of all on the list is photo mode, and the highest resolution you can get there is 36 megapixels, but that's in the aspect ratio of 4.3. But I'm going to be choosing the 16.9 one because I prefer that, it's a lot wider on screen there. And you can still get a whopping 31 megapixels out of this tiny camera, so that's what we're going to be going for today. So first of all, I'm going to start the video off with photo mode, find some subjects, take a picture of it, and then really crop in there to see how good that 31 megapixels really is. Here we go. So now you've just viewed photo mode, and that were 31 megapixels with a 16.9 aspect ratio. And what did you think to those pictures there when I cropped in? Did the picture hold together? Right, so now we're going to switch over to video mode, and with video mode we get 3 resolution options there. They start off in 1080, 2.7K and finally 4K, and now they'll all range from 24 frames right through to 60 frames. So what you're viewing right now is the resolution in 1080, 30 frames per second, and I'm going to do this exact same walk 3 times. So the next one's going to be 2.7k and then finally 4k. So I'll just get to this end bit, and that's in 1080 HD. And now this is the exact same test, but now we're in 2.7k 30 frames per second. So can we see any picture quality differences from that 1080, from the 2.7k right through that 4k? Do we see any differences here? And now I've switched over to 4k 30, so this should be the best overall quality over the 3 there, from that 1080 to the 2.7k in the middle to this 4k on the end. So what's the picture quality look like in 4k 30? So now you've just viewed HD, 2.7k and the 4k all compared against each other. What's your thoughts there? I don't think you'll notice a significant difference there because that sun was behind the camera lens and it's really bright today, so HD is really going to pop on a day like this. So we'll do some more testing. We'll do it in a heavily shaded area, again camera towards me, so really keep an eye on that high dynamic range there in all 3 resolutions. So this first clip's in 1080 30 frames per second, and once again just keep an eye out for all the shaded areas and light areas so we can really test out that dynamic range. And now I've switched over to 2.7k 30 frames per second. It's the exact same walk I'm doing, very precise actually. I'm looking to my right, spotting a brick over there, then keeping it straight and true. So that's 2.7k 30 frames. And now you're viewing 4k 30, once again the exact same walk. Can we see much differences from that 1080 to the 2.7k to this 4k? Right, so the next mode in line is called Super Night Mode, and now I've been a fan of this ever since it's been released on the DJI products, and I've used it for many years. Now that's bringing a flashback to this time last year as the Action 5 Pro, which I own, had multiple updates there. I've lost count how many updates, and DJI were trying to fix that, and now they've got it to the best they can. But on the Nano, it's been out 2 weeks tomorrow as I'm doing this video, and within 9 days DJI I think found a few issues there, especially the overheating problem there, but mainly the Super Night Mode for me, which I was interested in. They didn't quite get that right, as I'll show you on screen right now. I did a side-by-side comparison with the Action 5 Pro, and the Action 5 Pro Super Night Mode absolutely blew the Nanos out the water. Now they've both got similar specs, especially that 1/1.3 new generation sensor on both cameras, so I were expecting them to both to be rather similar, but in my opinion the Super Night Mode's not quite ready yet, and I have a feeling there's going to be a few more updates till they get that correct. So now, just 9 days after release, DJI's rolled out this firmware which has fixed that Super Night Mode. So I went out and I've done a side-by-side comparison just with the Nano in normal filming mode, and then split screen for you the Super Night Mode. So let's just see if they've fixed it or not. Here we go. So I can see one street lamp's come on. Now we're just waiting for it to rest on them.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. It has been over 2 years since I did my last drone review. So today we are going to be digging into the current top 5 drones on Temu. Now, these drones, some of them look very similar to some of the ones we checked out over 2 years ago, but all of them seem to have gotten some kind of upgrade, and some of them are just completely different. All right, starting out right here, we have the 156 drone. This one apparently has a controller with a screen built in. That is a really new thing I like to see. Before, you always had to use your phone. So I'm really hoping that's actually in here. All right, so we can see right here, S156. It does have a QR code on there, likely for the app. We'll get into all the app stuff later. Coming right in, package right on top, a little bit of foam around it. I mean, it feels like some pretty cheap plastic. It doesn't feel like any kind of good rebound plastic. I have a good feeling if this thing catches a tree or a wall one time, it's going to be pretty done. but it's got a unique look to it. You can see right back here, you have a USB Type-C charging cable. You have your camera on a front-mounted gimbal. And checking in here, there is no physical optical image stabilization that I can see. So if it does have any, it's going to be all digital. Checking out the actual controller, it does indeed have a full screen. In here, we also have a USB stick, as well as a charging cable, a mini screwdriver, and a micro SD card, as well as 2 add-ons for the controller. You can see right here, the thumbsticks currently have no top on them. That's pretty common with a lot of drones. It has expansion slots in here for extra batteries if you so choose to buy them. As you can see right here, it only comes with the 1 removable battery. The removable battery is what the USB Type-C port was on as well, so that's how you're going to charge it. Downside for the S156 is when you have the battery plugged in, there is no indicator telling you what the battery life is at. But we'll get into the rest here in just a bit. Coming in at number 4, we have kind of an is when you port was on as well, so that's how you're going to charge it. Downside for the S156 is
video, and this is one of those weird, but if you probably, so I'm going to be testing this, 3 DJI Neos, 1 DJI Flip, 1 mini there. So here we go. Okay, it's 4 drones, 3 Neos, 1 Mavic 4 Pro behind me. Let's see how that goes. Oh my goodness. So far so good. Oh my, oh, that's really going all over the place. Whew. Oh, that's not nice. It's literally got itself right into the middle of those. Oh, go, what's it doing? Okay, one of them just hit a twig. One of it's still tracking me. Yes, nice. Oh my God. Okay. That's not going to go through there, so I'm going to turn around. Oh, that's just horrible how fast that moves. That's a trooper. Those Neos. Okay, that was quite nerve-wracking because the DJI Neos are quite straightforward in these environments. They just bounce off things and don't cause any damage to themselves or anything else. The Mavic 4 Pro is a big, heavy drone and quite scary when that rushes into something towards objects. It does seem to oversteer quite a bit, like it's overreacting and overacting a little bit. It'd be nice if it could sort of almost anticipate a little bit more, maybe look a bit further and anticipate objects and plan its course as opposed to rushing into a certain direction and then suddenly find itself surrounded by twigs and trees. So maybe DJI can improve the firmware for that, but that's 4 drones. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to bring the Mavic 4 a bit closer to myself because I think that'll help. In the active track settings, you can change that. You can change the distance of the outer and inner rings. You can also change whether it's got a low limit of 2 meters or below that. So remember, you can change a lot of settings in active track, and it's worth looking at those when you get this drone, or if you ever get it. So I'm going to be bringing it closer. I've got set to about 10 meters for the outer ring at the moment. I'm going to bring it into about 7 meters to bring it towards me, but hopefully still far enough away from the other drones so it doesn't crash into them. 1 flip, 2 Neos, 2 Neos, Another Neo. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drones. Madness. Here we go. Oh god, it's coming close to them. Oh, it's going to chop up Neos in a minute. Alright. One swarm of drones behind me. Look at that. Cool. Very cool. Super interest. Hey. Oh god. Oh, jeez. I'm tripping again. Oh, I don't like the way that Mavic flies. Don't like it at all. They're still all there. That's all good. It's got loads of trees and twigs around it. Oh, we've lost one here. Oh, there it is. Ah, what are you doing up there? Right, and we've lost the Mavic 4. Well, you guys always want crash tests. Didn't really want to give you one, but that's kind of one. See how it's done. I'll take it back and have a proper look at that, but seems all right so far. Okay, so we've established that bouncing into soft trees and soft ground is okay with this, if you're lucky, like me. But I wouldn't try this at home, but there you go. This is your kind of crash test of the Mavic 4 Pro. You've asked for it and I gave it to you. Okay, test number 3, I'm now going to try the Hover Air X1 Pro Max. I'm going to try. Okay, that is not the result I expected. The gimbal is no longer gimbling. It's it's broken and snapped, so that's going to have to be repaired or replaced. I've crashed the flip into trees and concrete walls, and it's survived it to a large extent. And here we are, DJI Neo decided, nah, I'm going to have a piece of you and I'm going to take you out, which is another strike. DJI Neo decided, nah, I'm going to have a piece of you and I'm going to take you out, which is another strike for the DJI Neo, which is just an absolute monster. And we'll even try it on with other drones like the Flip, and wind coming out of that one. So there you go, another strike for the mighty DJI Neo. Bit of a shame. I'm going to leave it there for today. I've done 5 drones. I'm starting to break things and it's getting quite messy. So wanted to do 7. I'm sure in an open field some of you can probably do. Just a quick drones I can track myself with. This was also a test to see how well the Mavic 4 Pro tracks me and obstacle avoids in a woodland environment like this, which is very challenging, very difficult, and that's why I did it. And it didn't do very well. It's not any better in my opinion than the Air 3S and the Mavic 3 Pro when I test them in this sort of environment. Lighting conditions can make a difference, but in fairness I probably tested those drones in these woodlands in roughly the same sort of lighting, and I'd say the Air 3S even surrounded by more twigs and bushes and trees and obstacles, and then gets into that same problem again. So it's just too erratic in the way that it avoids obstacles, and DJI and I've got one of my usual dilemmas. Now I'm do it's a power pack. It's not one of our power ones. This is the All Powers R600 time. I'm going to charge a flat controller, a flat ER3S battery, a flat Mavic 3 Pro battery, also a flat DJI Flip battery. I'm going to charge all of these at once to get a speed test done, which is part of one of my videos coming up, and then a couple of 3-pin plugs or whatever sort of domestic plug is relevant to your region. So I'm going to be plugging these in and charging all devices at once, because you've got a 600 watt-hour maximum output, so I should be able to charge all these devices at their maximum rate at the same time. Okay, so all devices connected. I've connected the controller to the USB-A, the Mavic 3 Pro and the ER3S batteries, which need the highest power rate, to the USB-Cs, which are 100 watts each, and then the DJI Flips battery to just one of the 3 pins, all charging at the same time. On the display, you can see the total amount of power left in the pack, which is currently 96%. The power output, which is quite useful, so it's 89 watts combined between all devices charging, and then the amount of time you've got left at that charge rate before that power pack is depleted. So I'm going to leave these and hopefully get that video done before it gets dark. Not sure about the phone. Ask it to is the compactness and the versatility of 300 watt hours, which will charge 4 Mavic 3 Pro. These are now between 80 to 90% fully charged, which is enough to do the video I'm going to be doing. And the power pack's at 57%, which means that if I had to, I could actually do another round of charging of all these devices one more time. Just goes to show how useful even an affordable 300 watt hour over and out. More filming. Hope you enjoyed this one. Over and out. So less can be if you're disorganized like myself and you get yourself into trouble. Anyway, I'm going to create some content, so less talking, more filming. Hope you enjoyed this. I thought, what kind of content could I do for you guys? Well, as you seem to like my Neo content so much, I thought, okay, we've got 20 mile-an-hour winds, choppy waves, bit of rain. Let's fly FPV in this and see what happens. Don't try this at home because you might lose your drone, but I'm going to do it. So let's get going, see how this little bad boy deals in FPV in these conditions. I'm not expecting too much, but let's see how it goes. Flying into the wind is not going very well. The problem you've got is when you're flying into the wind with an underpowered drone like this is, as you tilt forward to give you more thrust, the wind also tries to push the drone down. So you have to be quite cautious of that. I'm going to go back over the beach to get back here. It is extremely windy out here. This little bit in this little bay is a little bit sheltered, but as you go out to sea, it's about 30 mile-an-hour winds, 30-35 mile-an-hour winds, which is way above the way above what DJI recommend for this little drone. I mean, in my previous tests, I found anything above 20 miles an hour winds is just getting silly. But we do silly things, and that's what you're here for. With a little drone like this, you can use the wind to your advantage. If you're flying into the wind, you're not going to get much done. You're flying slow, it's erratic, it's all over the place. But what you can do is you can fly into the wind, line things up, and then sort of just glide with that wind as you're going along. So I've got the wind coming down towards me down this cliff, so I'm just going to do a little dive now. And then literally just let that wind carry you. Gradual slow stick commands. Like that. Fill your battery, so obviously bear that in mind, especially if you're flying thing and then have to do the long walk of shame to get your drone back. Well, as you can see, just as I finished, the sun's coming out. But it is possible to fly in these conditions. I would massively recommend against it because it's very risky to fly in the rain, wind, over water, all these kind of things. It's against what DJI recommend, and you won't get much. Possible to fly in these conditions. I would massively recommend against it because it's very risky to fly in the rain, wind, over water, all these kind of things. It's against what DJI recommend, and you won't get much sympathy from them. Wind, over water, all these kind of things. It's against what DJI recommend, and you won't get much sympathy from them. But with that being said, just a few pointers if you're going to do this sort of stupid stuff, how you can mitigate your risks. First of all, if you're flying downwind, you've got the wind behind you and you're gaining altitude, you're trying to reduce your altitude, your intuitive reaction might be to push forward on the elevator, to push the drone down. But what's going to happen then is that the drone's going to tilt forward and the wind's going to catch it and push it up like a kite. So you'll be better off flaring, reducing your throttle and pulling backwards to use the wind to push you down gradually. In the same way, if you're flying into the wind and you're trying to gain speed and you throttle up, push forward, the wind's going to push it downwards. So bear that in mind as well. Don't do any sudden turns, very gradual turns, especially if you're over water. Try to avoid doing sudden turns into the wind or changing wind direction while you're over the water. Do that over land if you can. Also keep an eye on your battery, which can deplete very, very quickly in these conditions, especially if you're downwind and you're having to fight your way back into the wind. Anyway, that's the end of this video, so I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember, if you fly in these kind of crazy is because in that video, I killed the DJI Neos motors at 100 meters and let it fall to its death. And it didn't die, it actually auto-rotated and landed sort of safely. And what you've asked is this. If you kill the motors, can you restart them before it reaches the bottom and kind of save your drop? So that's exactly what I'm going to be testing in this video. And incidentally, if you want to buy it, it's a way to the top. That seems fun. Okay, I think we'll leave it here. So as you can see, that didn't work very well. Now there are actually two main issues that we've got in making this happen. Now the first one is that the DJI Neo has a soft motor spool up. The motors don't just start up straight away. They do like a gentle spool, like a gentle sort of spin up, and that whole process from arming takes about in excess of 2 seconds. During those 2 seconds, the DJI Neo is going to be dropping, building up speed, and probably hitting the ground. So that's issue number one. Now problem number two is the very fact that the DJI Neo auto-rotates. Now during auto-rotation, the propellers will spin in the opposite direction to the way they generate thrust. Now if you want to restart the motors, that means you have to stop that rotation and then correct it into the correct direction. Now that requires a certain amount of startup force, and the big question is, does the DJI Neo have enough force to make that happen? So I've done a few tests and this is how they went. Okay, so arming now. Okay, we'll try that one more time. Oi, there it goes, arming, and okay, next test. What speed are we doing? 13. Bit faster. Okay, that's fine. First test pointed into some wind, 10 kilometers an hour, and no problems. It does actually stop that auto rotation and restart the motors in the right way. The second test, I stuck this out the side of a moving car at different speeds to generate some airflow, and what we found is that anything more than 20 kilometers an hour, it just doesn't have the power to stop that rotation, which is a real bummer, because what we found in my previous video is that if you look at the video, once I kill the motors, it'll accelerate to 45 kilometers an hour drop in about 1 second. And that's where the first problem comes in, because the DJI Neo takes a long time to spool up, about 2 seconds or more. So it's going to start dropping, it'll build up speed, it'll auto-rotate at 45 kilometers an hour, which is too fast for it to start the motors. That's the problem. But we're going to test it anyway, because I'm stupid like that and I do silly things. So I'm going to take it to 100 meters, kill the motors over this soft grassy field, and try and restart them. And it'll probably show the theory to be correct, that it's not going to start the motors, but we've got to test these things because otherwise it's just theory. So let's get going. Okay, 100 meters, kill the motors, and as quick as possible I'm going to restart them, and if I'm right in my theory, it's basically just going to keep plummeting and get to the bottom and probably then start once it's impacted, which is really silly because that's just not good, but there you go. Right, here we go. And go, here we go. And oh. No. That didn't work. There you go. I'm just going to go and find it. Okay, just walking through a field trying to find the drone, which, as you can see, proved my theory. You can't restart the motors once it's in free fall because of the auto rotation and the amount of power it takes to restart the motors. Definitely tried to rearm them. I had my throttle at 0, which is obviously required for that. Didn't work. But I'm not going to stop there. if it survived this fall, I'm going to try some different things. There we go. Now, fortunately I didn't hit this. There we go. Let's have a look. Look at that. There is no damage on this, which is very, very good. It's a spectacular drone, really is. Okay, so I got it back, which is great. It's undamaged, which is even better, and it also avoided a massive cow dung by about 6 inches, so that's really, really good. So back to the drawing board. I've got to find a way to stop it auto-rotating too fast in time for the motors to spool up and generate thrust in the right way again. So I've had an idea, and the way I'm going to try and do that is this. And this is really wacky, really risky, but what I thought is I'm going to try and do a power loop. And during that power loop, it's going to fly around. Now at that point, sort of generating thrust this direction. So if I kill the motors, the airflow is actually in the correct direction. It's pushing the props in that direction, and even if it falls for a second or so or tumbles inverted, the airflow during an inverted tumble is spinning the props in the right direction. So if I try and rearm the motors during that short time period, while it's inverted or while it's falling this way, maybe I can restart them in time. So basically, power loop, bring it to roughly the top, around about there, kill the motors, let it fall inverted, restart the motors and see if it works. How stupid is that? But we'll give it a go anyway, because you love seeing me crash drones, and there you go. People get what they want. If you're wondering what a power loop is basically a loop-the-loop, if you like, but under constant power, or most of the way constant power. So rather than going up and then killing power and then flipping round, you're applying constant power all the way around to generate quite a uniform sort of loop. But yeah, that's basically why it's called a power loop. It's a loop under power. Right, so I'm going to practice. But here. So it'd be nice if it didn't. But here we go. So it'd be nice if it didn't. But here we go. Here we go. From about. Yeah, here we go. Oh, this is so nerve-wracking. Yay! You did it! Ladies and gentlemen, that is one DJI. Ladies and gentlemen, that is one DJI Neo which has had its motors turned off mid-flight and restarted and landed in one piece. How cool is that? It feels so unnatural to do a power loop and then kill the motors at the top of it, but it did it. How cool. Okay, so there we have it. I've just had a look at the footage, and you can actually see it tumble and do about 3 or 4 flips before it catches itself again and basically the motors start up. But I'm absolutely thrilled that this is actually possible. Now, the downside is it's completely impractical, because unless you do a power loop and do something stupid like I just did and kill the motors at the top of a power loop, it just won't happen. If you're falling in free fall and it starts auto-rotating, these motors or the props generate too much energy in them, and you just can't stop that. The drone doesn't have enough startup power to stop that auto-rotation power and generate thrust again. So the answer to your question is twofold. Can you do it? Yes, you can. Is it practical? No, it's not, because why would you turn off the motors in the middle of a power loop? Anyway, that is the end of this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I massively enjoyed filming it and walking away with a drone which is still in one piece, completely unscathed, despite actually having one free fall impact. Somewhere. And according to the instructions, so welcome to another video, and this here is the new DJI Neo. And according to the instructions, there are a lot of things that you can't do with this. In fact, it seems like there's very little that you can do as far as FPV. And in this video think it's safe to say that it doesn't float, which is a question you might ask if you're... Oh, hey! Ah, come here, you! Hey! Which is a question you might ask if you're... Oh, hey! Ah, come here, you! Big question is going to be whether it'll still fly. It is completely drenched in salt water, so that's not good for drones. I'll be interested to see if it'll still fly. But hopefully I can at least extract the footage from it so I can show you what I've just been doing in good quality. Otherwise, you will have been watching it in DVR quality, but there we go. That would have been my first lost drone ever, so I'm pleased I got it back. Might have to be a Care Refresh replacement though. Always get Care Refresh, especially when you do stupid stuff like this. So here we are, drone retrieved, and I thought this was going to be my first ever drone that I've actually lost, but I haven't, which was very, very lucky, and you can't script this sort of stuff. But yeah, first thing I've done is I've taken it to some fresh water, rinsed it down, dried as good as I can. Now I'm going to let it dry out completely and see if I can at least extract the footage from it. If not, you would have been watching all previous footage in DVR, and that'll be for that reason, and this will have to go back on Care Refresh. I'll process the drone. At the point it would have recorded because as a bit of a downer. There's no major damage on this. There's a tiny bit of a scratch on the one of the ductings, but it hasn't cracked, so whatever caused that scratch would have been probably a decent impact. I'll have a look at the DVR to see where that actually happened, but it didn't crack, and this is something where the Avata 2 was let down quite a lot with these ductings kind of bending and cracking quite easily. So going back to the original point of this video, can you freestyle it? Well, the short answer is yes-ish. It's not completely limited in any way, in the sense that it is just a drone, and a drone's just a drone really. It's just limited by its power and the pitch tune that it has. But in this case, it is a very underpowered drone, and it's very poorly tuned, like all DJI FPV drones. It's got a very sloppy sort of pitch tune on it, probably done for long flight times. But that means that when you try and do these flips and rolls and power dives and things, it just doesn't inspire you with confidence. And I think that's the most important thing to note is, as much as you sort of can do those maneuvers, this drone will flip out and do unexpected. I think it's safe to say that it doesn't float, which is a question you might ask if you're... Oh, hey! Ah, come here, you! Big question is going to be whether it'll still fly. It is completely drenched in salt water, so that's not good for drones. I'll be interested to see if it'll still fly. But hopefully I can at least but in terms of cruising around, fast forward flight, absolutely no problem. You can fly this continually in fast forward flight, not flat out, but at a reasonable speed for 8-9 minutes, and it won't cause any issues. And it's actually quite pleasant to fly. You can hit small gaps. You don't have to worry about people around you and not adhering to rules and regulations. So it's great for those kind of things, and it's very compact. You carry it around with you all the time. So there's a lot going for this, but not freestyle. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video and hope you learned something from it. If you did, remember to hit the like button and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And until the next video, happy flying, and cancel the terminal. So you've got here. No. Having a look at them, well as running your, how it'll be better result. Or elsewhere with the expecting the range to be further than we Just a quick disclaimer, okay, without further ado, line of sight, and this will definitely be flying out of line of sight. So without further ado, let's get into it and see how far this little bad boy can fly. Okay, battery's at 94%, so let's get going. Now it's into the wind and then back with the wind in case you get low on battery. That's especially very important if you're flying over water. Higher to, although in order to pipe between because going to have to go a bit higher. You can see that yaw judder from left to right. That's an indication that the drone is massively struggling with power. That is just, can't change that. It's the nature of the DJI Neo. Going to cancel the return to home, which is always a very unsettling. 8, come on. That'll do. 38% to make it back. Field now, so come on, 10. Stop whinging. You can do it. No. When they say you can, come on. Okay, made it back. Whew, okay, made it back. Probably landed with about -1%. That's the lowest I've ever taken a drone battery, and this will probably be screwed now. But in the interest of science and exploration, 1.8 kilometers with the DJI Neo in CE mode on a windy day with 10 mile an hour slight head-on winds. That's pretty spectacular, and I'm massively surprised and impressed how well this drone did. Not only in terms of the range of the battery, but also the transmission staying so strong in CE mode for that sort of distance at not even a particularly high altitude. That's extremely impressive, and yeah, hats off to the little DJI Neo. Right, I'm going to change my pants now. Hope you enjoyed that thrill ride, and next coming up going to be the FPV flight. So in case anyone's wondering why I've taken off the prop cages, which are normally fitted by default, taking them off saves you about 5 grams. They're quite heavy in proportion to the drone weight, which is only 135 grams. So taking them off can, according to the documentation from DJI, gain you an extra 1 minute of flight time, and I'm going to want as much as possible in these conditions. So next, let's have a look at the range in FPV mode. So we're using the Remote Controller 3, and this is going to be better limiting vision range. Remote switching in. So with manual mode, you do get a lot more speed. Your maximum tilt angle is higher. You might recall on the quite that low, but it would be nice to just take it a bit. That's 8. Now that 20% distance flight. All right, come on. Oh, doesn't like that. No! There. Okay, one recovered DJI Neo, found in a field about 250 meters away. So 250 meters, auto landing was about 7%, which I would say, if it wouldn't have done that forced auto landing, it should have come back with about 1 or 2% in the tank. So it's comparable to the NC3 case if it would have made it all the way and wouldn't have auto landed. Now, in terms of range, you're getting 1.8 kilometers with the NC3 in windy conditions, so it's not ideal, and almost 2.1 with the FPV system. So you can clearly fly a little bit further with the FPV system, but it's all quite marginal. What I would say is, in theory, you could fly further if there wasn't any wind. So I wouldn't be surprised to see cases of people flying further than this out there. But I would like to put a disclaimer in there that if you're in the UK, in Europe, you're not supposed to fly beyond line of sight, and that clearly was beyond line of sight. So there's a good reason why you didn't see me fly this drone. Hope you enjoyed the video though, and it's good to know these things. The trees are easy because they're big, easy visible, and no twiglets. This stuff, twiglets, some twiglets up there, twiglets there on the left, flying into those twiglets, twiglets, whatever you want to call them. Those twigs. Welcome back and welcome to 2025 with a video about the Air 3S. Now in this video I'm going to be testing the obstacle detection of this little drone to its absolute limits, because the Air 3S has LiDAR, which means that rather than just using visual obstacle detection, you can also use a laser to bounce off objects and detect them, and it's supposed to work better. You've probably seen lots of videos already of people flying this around cities and woodlands and showing how well it can work. But there is a bit of a Achilles heel when it comes to obstacle detection with drones, and that is this stuff. Twiglets, scraggle, whatever you might call it. This will ruin your day when it comes to using obstacle detection in woodlands. And I want to see how well the Air 3S can cope with this. So I'm going to be testing that to its limits in these English woodlands, which are not very tidy, very scraggly, lots of this around, and props are going to be thing like that. Trees there. Right, quite a few bits of scraggly bits coming up there at the moment, so let's see what it does. Is it going to avoid it? Okay, it's getting quite close to, there's lots of stuff up there. What's it doing? So it's actually snapped out of cruise control and sort of stopped itself. So I'm going to set it back on its path and see how it goes. Right, coming up to some trees. These kind of trees are easy because they're big, easy visible, and no twiglets. So that's no problem for the Air 3S. Right, a couple of trees there, some twiglets up there, and wait, what's it doing? Okay, let's try it again. Ready? Oh, ho, ho, ho. That is quite impressive. That is very, very close. It's literally got to that point and stopped itself, so okay. Try it again. Let's bring it down a bit. See what it does. Okay, it's avoided them pretty well. It's quite twitchy. Okay, whoop, avoided that one quite well. Come on. Go boys, how'd you come? Come on. Good boy. And you, come on. And you, come on, don't be shy. I know you're a bit ugly. Good boy. Okay, so this is the new DJI Flip, and in this video I'm going to answer all the questions you might have about this drone, as well as some of the ones you probably don't. So this is my super honest review about the Flip. It's super because I had to buy it with my own money, and that qualifies me to say super. So is it ugly? Yes, it's extremely ugly. This drone has been hit with the ugly stick. It's not the prettiest one that DJI have ever produced, but you have to be fair to it. I mean, it's a brand new kind of concept with these enclosed propellers, and it's got to work somehow. So it's more of a case of substance over style, but not the prettiest. Is it better unfolded? Let's have a quick look. Oh, by the way, it powers up when you unfold it, which is really good. So that means you can deploy it very fast, and I'll do more on that later. But yeah, even unfolded, not any better. There you go, ugly drone. Okay, so from those tests, it's quite clear that the Mavic 3 Pro and the Avata and the Air 3S are the loudest. But even comparing these two, the Neo is actually quieter on the decibels than the Flip, about 2 to 3, maybe 4 decibels less than the Flip. But it's not just about decibels when you look at the annoyance of the sound, which is really what it comes down to. No one cares about decibels. What you care about is how many people are going to get pissed off when you fly around them. So let's have a look at the actual annoyance and measure it by asking some people. Okay, out of these two drones, which one would you say is the most irritating? That one or that one?
I think that one.
Okay, out of these two drones, which one do you find the most irritating?
Probably the one on the left, if I'm honest.
The little one.
Yeah, it's more of a piercing noise.
Out of these two drones, which one would you say is the most annoying?
Number one is most annoying because it's got a more high-pitched tone.
Out of these two drones, which one would you say is the most annoying?
Small one, that one.
The small one.
Yeah.
Okay. And why is that one most annoying?
It's
It just, you don't like it.
No, it's like this little high-pitched whirring. It just is irritating.